Hi, my name is Talley Ransil. I'm a 2L. At the start of Women's History Month, I was thinking back on a women's literature class that I took in undergrad, and one book that particularly stood out to me was The Feminine Mystique by Betty Ferdan. She was the co-founder of the National Organization for Women, and her book was very influential in the 60s because she gave voice to a lot of American women who felt stuck in their gender roles and who couldn't express how they were feeling. One part of the book that really sticks out to me that I'll read is, she says, in almost every professional field, women are still treated as second-class citizens. She explains that we should not tell girls who plan to work in society to expect this subtle, uncomfortable discrimination. And she says that a girl should not expect special privileges because of her sex, but neither should she adjust to prejudice and discrimination. She wrote this in the 60s, and thankfully, I think we've come a long way. But I also think that we still have some progress to be made. One woman in my personal life who I think really just exemplifies the qualities that Betty Friedan is talking about in this book is my mom. She's an attorney and she practices in a heavily male-dominated field, and she has used her influence and her power as she's grown in the company to really pave the way for women and implement policies in her company that are beneficial to working mothers and women of all different stages of their life. She also, in any meeting, asks the men in the room, because she's often the only woman in the room, how their policies and their decisions are going to affect the women of the company. So I'm really grateful for women like my mom and women like Betty Friedan in history who are very thoughtful towards their actions and how they can aid in the progression of women. And I'm grateful for this month that we get to think about all the influential women in our lives.
Growing up in Romania, my entire childhood was defined by Nadia Komenec, the first gymnast to ever achieve a perfect score in the Olympics. Nadia inspired a generation of young girls, like myself and my best friend, who did so much gymnastics at school because of her. Nadia Komenec truly might have been the best Olympian I have ever seen. Her degree of perfection has not been reached yet. At the 1976 Montreal Games, when she was just 14, she was awarded 7 scores of 10 during the competition. The scoreboard manufacturer was led to believe that it was impossible to receive a perfect 10. Thus, the scoreboard was not programmed to display that score. Komenec's perfect 10 appeared as 1. She had everything: great gymnastic ability, balance, grace, beauty, and elegance. Nadia uses her platform to advocate for people with intellectual disabilities around the world as a lifelong supporter of the Special Olympics. She once said, "You have to have a lot of passion for what you do, to be able to work hard, and to have a lot of motivation, because you're going to go places that you're never going to believe."
I'm Denise Dragoo, partner with the law firm of Snell and Willmer here in Salt Lake City, and a 1976 graduate of the University of Utah College of Law. The College of Law has asked me to help them celebrate Women's History Month, and specifically to define what women's history means to me. When I think of women's history, I think of the firsts, all of those firsts who went first through the door. And in 1976, we were the first women to constitute a significant presence at the College of Law. There were 10% of the women in that class were women, and that was the first time that a number of women had attended law school. So that first group also had the first law professor at the University of Utah College of Law, Christine Strahn, who I remember taught us civil procedure and did a very great job. She was the first woman law professor and really opened the door for now the first dean, Dean Warner, who's now the dean of the University of Utah College of Law. and the first woman dean. So when I think of women's history, I think of those first, those who have gone before and opened the doors for others. And I'm very proud to have been in the class of 1976, which was the first class that had a significant number of women. Thank you.